But first, if the Albanese government's re-elected, most likely reliant on Greens support, it will do even more damage to our economic strength and social cohesion. Now that's obvious after today's National Press Club speech by Greens Leader Adam Bandt, where he tabled his party's minimum demands for keeping Anthony Albanese in office. The price of Greens support in a hung parliament will be ending negative gearing for residential housing and ending the capital gains tax concession.
We will keep Dutton out and get Labor to act on the cost of living, housing and climate crises. That the Greens will make reforming negative gearing and the capital gains tax discount a priority in the next parliament, including when there's a minority government.
Now, you don't need me to tell you these are the same policies Bill Shorten took to the 2019 election, an election that Labor was expected to win, but that produced Scott Morrison's miracle victory because investors saw this as a wealth tax and because renters understood that sending landlords to the wall would do them more harm than good. Now, when the Hawke-Keating government briefly dumped negative gearing in the 1980s, rents skyrocketed, especially in Sydney and Perth. And that's why it wasn't long thereafter that they reined it all back. In Australia today, some 2 million of us, nearly 10%, own an investment property. And 1.3 million of us claim a tax benefit from negative gearing because the outgoings on the property, so that's the interest and other expenses, exceed the rental income. This includes many young people who are actually renters themselves but have bought an investment property in an area where homes are more affordable. Now, far from being billionaires, these are mostly teachers, nurses, tradies, people who've worked hard and saved to make an investment that will help in their retirement. Because most of these people are not sophisticated investors with the time or the background to follow the money markets. They prefer to put their savings into property because it's an asset they understand and it's an asset they can feel and touch. And of that 2 million, the vast majority only own one property. That's 71%. Just 19% own 2 properties. And the Greens' idea of those mega millionaire landlords, well, that's a lie. Just 6%. 6% of all landlords own 3 investment properties. And yet there's a huge mark of hypocrisy with the Greens because it's a lot of their MPs in those numbers. Greens Senator Mehreen Faruqi, well, she owns 3 homes and a block of land. Nick McKim, a Greens Senator from Tasmania, he owns 4 properties himself. David Shoebridge, he's another Green, well, he's from New South Wales and he's got 3 properties in his name. These are all declared, I might add, on their register, so on the public record. Another Senator, Senator Elizabeth Watson-Brown, and a friend of hers, Greens Penny Allman-Payne, and Steph Hodgkins-May, 2 properties each for these senators. Now, make no mistake, this is a direct assault on wealth, a wealth tax, but it's coming if Labor's re-elected. Even if Labor's re-elected in its own right, it will need to find extra sources of revenue to pay for its big government, big spending promises, and many Labor MPs want higher taxes on those they see as rich. The Greens are also demanding a 2-year freeze on rents.
Landlords cannot be allowed to raise the rent by whatever number they want. There has to be limits.
Now, this would extend Labor's new socialism from the energy market to the housing market, bringing yet more distortions and complications into our already tortured economy. Now, it's true that rents have gone up massively by some almost $100 a week in Sydney over the past 2 years. Now, in part, that's landlords like the rest of us trying to cope with rising mortgage costs that have gone up on average by $20,000 under the Prime Minister, plus all the state tax hikes like land tax in Victoria. But this is more a matter of supply and demand than capitalist greed as claimed by the Greens. Council rules make new developments too hard and too expensive. And because too many young Australians do doubtful courses at uni rather than get a useful trade, building costs in this country have gone through the roof. And when immigration too is running at $500,000 a year, with every one of those new migrants needing a place to live, well, of course, rents are skyrocketing. But the last thing the Greens or Labor will do is cut immigration because it's the business model of the universities that back the political left and because it's the economic model of failing state and federal Labor governments that are allergic to giving people economic freedom and reining in spending. Last night at the People's Forum, the Prime Minister played down the significance of this ransom note from the Greens, saying he didn't do deals. Now that's...
You'll take their votes, won't do deals? Is that a fair way to...
There'll be no deals with the Greens by me after the election.
Well, that's a lie, because the fact is he's doing deals already now with the Greens on preferences. Right now, the fact is he's already hostage to Adam Bandt, because dozens of Labor's MPs have only got there into Parliament thanks to Green preferences. If the PM's really serious in his opposition to the Greens and his claims that they are an extremist party, he'll do what Peter Dutton's already done and put them last. Otherwise, all that will save us from the Green left's wealth taxes is to change the government.